Welcome to Truth Be Told. The views and opinions that you hear today are variation of individuals in the community. We're not trying to minimize the female, male, single life, or individuals that are in relationships. We're just simply trying to find the truth be told. So our first topic that we're going to discuss today are interracial relationships. I got over here. So how do we feel about them?
How do you feel about it?
How do I feel? I think it's a lovely thing. You know what I mean? I'd rather go with the female that looks good. I don't care about the color. If she's white, black, Chinese, Jamaican, Haitian. I just think about what she looks like and what characteristics that she has inside. That's what's that's what's important.
Right. Okay. That's good.
Well, I mean, me personally, I don't have an issue with it, but what I do have a slight issue with is what I've noticed out in Hollywood and La La Land, where you see a lot of celebrities and a lot of athletes dating white women. So that's just something that gave me kind of a side eye, and I can run down a bunch of them, Michael Strahan, Charles Barkley, Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, Tiger Woods, and a bunch of others. And I'm just curious, why have they gravitated more towards white women? What is it about the women that pique their interest as opposed to a black woman?
Have you been with a white girl?
Have I been with a white girl? I have not.
Okay.
I have not. I mean, I'm not saying like I wouldn't. There's something wrong with it. I just haven't.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. Oh, what you guys think?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. Love is love, whether it's black, white, Asian, black, whatever the mix is.
I didn't say love. I said what looks good. Looks good. Just joking. Just joking. Just joking. Just joking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Lust or love, whatever. If you're happy with that person, then I think you should be with that person, and to some extent. Now, sometimes I get a little aggravated when I see a black man with a white woman, but
why do females get so aggravated if a black guy's with not even white? It could be anyone that's not black. If they're not with a black woman, they get aggravated.
I don't know. A lot of females that I've talked to, I'd say, and I can't obviously speak for you guys, but I don't think they really get peeved at seeing a black man with a Hispanic woman or a Mexican woman. I think they get more peeved when they see them with a white woman.
Go ahead. What'd you think?
I mean, honestly, I'm not racist, but when I see a nice-looking black man with a white woman that's definitely not even pretty,
why?
It just gets underneath my skin because there's so many nice-looking black sisters out there that could have a chance to be out there to date a nice-looking man, but they rather choose a white woman.
My question: do they have a nice-looking black sister attitude, or do they?
I mean, screw the attitude.
Don't
give me the attitude thing. Yeah, we might come off a little aggressive,
right.
But what's the reason why you would choose a white woman over your own sister?
What do you have to say, man?
I mean, you have to kind of add that attitude as a factor of why a black man would want to go date a white lady.
So the white lady is more sweet, and she won't give me lip back.
Now, from what I hear,
from what you hear,
yeah, I don't know how else to really put it, but I mean, from my understanding, from what I've heard, I should say, that it's easier for a black man to deal with a white woman than a black woman because of that attitude and that not necessarily butting heads, but that I kind of want to be in control, or the man wants to be in control.
Okay.
And when it comes to that, it's easier, I guess, and this doesn't sound right, but it's easier to control a white lady than it is a black lady, because men want that control in general. They want that power.
On this set, have everyone dated outside of the race?
I have.
No.
You have? Have you?
Yeah.
And do you feel like dating outside of race, the races are different?
The races are definitely different, and sometimes it's a little stressful too, because certain races, they have different cultures, and they want you to,
adapt.
Follow and adapt to different things. And if you're not of that culture, then sometimes you're not actually accepted. And I experienced that myself, and I kind of felt bad because I didn't speak the other language that they speak, so I didn't really understand things that certain family functions that they had. So I did feel out of place. But I did like the culture because I do like trying different foods.
That always helps.
So I think it all depends on the extreme, though, because if you are a black man dating an Asian woman, that's kind of like an extreme, as opposed to if you're, and this is just my opinion, as opposed to if you're a black man dating a Hispanic woman, or a black man dating maybe a Mexican woman, or maybe even a white woman. But I think when you talk about black and Asian, I just think that's a bit of an extreme. Like, for instance, if you have a black man and he dates, say, a black American man, he dates a West Indian woman, you can kind of mesh and get to know each other's cultures and norms, especially I think men from the South and women from the South kind of have those same norms as West Indian women. But if you're, you know, say you talk about a black man from Detroit dating a Asian woman from, you know, Japan, it's like, whoa, and she's not Americanized either.
So you think they'll be more accepted?
I don't think it would be more, I mean, I think with the black culture, maybe, but I think with the Asian culture, no.
Well,
I can agree with that too, because I know with I know a black man who married a Japanese woman, and her family disowned her, and they had the most beautiful 2 little girls they had, but she cannot go home to this day, and their marriage didn't last, they're divorced, but her family disowned her.
Wow.
Of course.
So,
That's deep.
I mean, it's not always accepted.
Well, I think this topic is not only within the black community, but I think it's with other communities towards black people, because it's not really accepted, like you said, with Asian people dating black people, or white people dating black people. There's a lot of emotions when it comes to people dating black individuals, which I never really understood why. You have any opinions on that? Oh, she got the head down. Go ahead.
Put me on the spot.
Got to do that. Go ahead, Casey.
No, I mean, I think it's just the stereotypes are out there, and unfortunately, a lot of these other cultures haven't had the opportunity to, you know, interact with black people on a regular basis. They see, you know, TV through movies, and so without that direct contact, they just see stereotypes. So black people are all drug dealers or rappers.
So did you deal with any stereotypes dealing with other races yourself?
I didn't, believe it or not, but
You mind putting those races out there for the TV land?
yeah, why not? When I was younger, when I was in junior high, I actually dated a white girl, and it was cool. Like, her pops wasn't, you know, he was accepting, like, oh, you know, he didn't care that I was black. He just wanted to make sure, like any father, that his daughter was treated with respect. And, you know, I respected that. But, you know, just certain little issues that we had on just different views, I could see that my view was because I was black, and her view was because she was white.
Okay.
And, I mean, we everything was cool. It's just those little issues, and I had to step out of it before it became a bigger issue.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've had experience, but, you know, I have to stay with my sisters.
Oh.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think if you were older, so let's say you're the age you are now, and you were dating the same woman, do you think her father would still be as accepting, or he wouldn't be as accepting? Because you're not a 13-year-old anymore, you're a grown man. So
he probably still would be, but how I think now and how I look at dating, especially like off the topic, you know, interracial dating, I wouldn't put myself in that situation. You know, I would keep it cordial. You know, she, you know, we were friends. We were in a couple classes together, so I would keep it on that level with the knowledge I have now, rather than when I was at that age.
So yourself, you said you dated outside.
I mean, I have before. I mean, but again, it wasn't an extreme. Like, I've dated Hispanic women before. I've dated Cape Verdeans before. And yes, a lot of Cape Verdeans do, like she was saying, like to stick within their own race. You know, they do. But I mean, at the time, I wasn't clean shaven, so I had like long hair and stuff. So I mean, I passed for a Cape Verdean. I'll never forget. I went and met her family, and her brother goes, "Como busta?" And I'm like, "What? Como busta? You Cape Verde?" I'm like, no, sorry. But I mean, it was cool though. But with the same thing with the Hispanic. I mean, again, I just think it all depends on how you get along, how you mesh. And like I said, it's not that much of an extreme as, again, you dating someone from Czechoslovakia or dating someone from Russia or Thailand.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think you still have more of that commonality.
Okay.
You know.
Well, you guys should watch that 90 Day Fiance. They do that.
Oh,
They get people like
Oh,
outside
I've
of
seen
the.
that show.
Yep, and they marry them. They have to marry them in 90 days. It's like
Hold on, what is, I don't know
the
what you're
show is
talking
called 90 Days, like to Fiance or something like that. 90 Day Fiance or something like that. And
What is it?
It's like, well, I know for sure it's 3 white men, and their wives were from one was from like Japan or something like that, some Asian
Uh-huh.
country. The other one was from Russia, and there was another girl from Colombia.
So they have to marry them in 90 days.
Yes, they come here on visas, and they have to form a relationship within 90 days. And by that 90 day, they have to be married.
That's stupid.
They have to be
Yes,
married.
yeah. If not, then they have to go back.
Yeah, that's-
It was the strangest thing.
Wow.
Now, is it sort of like internet bride type?
Yeah, I believe so, because I think he did meet her on the internet.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw that, I was like, I don't even know if I could do that. Like, meet somebody like that. And especially like the Russian girl, she just always looked miserable. Of course, English is her second language. And then now you have to form a relationship with this guy. And then
Actually, I
marry
heard
him
some
too.
good things about Russians from my man. Like my boy, he's dating a Russian right now. I heard some good thing about Russian people,
Oh, yeah?
Russian females. Just FYI for the single folks out there,
okay, so what's the good thing?
and not camera friendly. But yeah, I heard some real good things about Russians though. I don't know any Russians around my area, but
You know how to pronounce their last names, though. That's
Right? Exactly.
any other topics or any other feelings in regards to interracial relationships you dated outside the race?
No, I haven't.
Would you
But-
be against it?
Me dating a, I don't know. It depends. It depends. It's not about race. It's about what he's bringing to the table. Because right now I'm not dating just to, just to be dating, just to say I have a boyfriend. I think I'm older, looking for someone to build a future with.
Okay.
So it would be what he could bring to the table. It's not so much about his race.
Oh, so you don't really care for the race. So you could go with a Chinese guy right now? Or Asian?
Well, he's a little short. I like the taller. But I do feel some way, like, my nephews are athletes
Okay.
down south. And I feel like those white girls be all over them. All over them. Their parents be pushing them.
So on the groupie levels? They're on the groupie level?
They're on the groupie levels. Like, one of my nephews traveled, and his girlfriend was right behind him, finding jobs wherever he went. She found a job. It's just like, I don't know.
So are you trying to say the Caucasian race pushes
For the athletes down south,
down south? I don't know.
college
Run,
football.
brother, run.
I
He's
know.
fast. He's fast, man. Look at him. He's fast.
I don't think all of them per se. You think?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just noticed, like, when I look at biracial couples, I think it's a stressful relationship because you have to be accepted by the community that you're exposed to. Because I know everybody's going to look and be like, oh, God,
Have their
look
own
at that.
opinion about
Everybody
it.
has their own opinion. And some people are still racist. So they won't accept it
That's
at all.
true.
So if you see a black chick with a white guy or a white guy with a black woman, people are going to stare. And they're going to look. And I see it all the time. And I mean, I'm going to admit myself. I did it last night in the restaurant. I was looking, I was like, come on.
What is
Like,
going on?
what is this? So, everybody looks, but I mean, it's like of the norm now.
In the celebrity realm, though, do you think a lot of black men date these blue-collar white women because you think it's part of a stigma or status? Like, for instance, I look much better with this blue-eyed blonde hair on my arm as opposed to this black woman on my arm.
I
Like,
think
if you
so.
look at the movie, what's the movie that came out? It had Tay Diggs, Terrence Howard.
That's me. Holiday.
Right. Now, I didn't watch it, but aren't all those guys married to white women?
Yeah.
So you as a black woman looking at it saying, wow, I can get myself a good man. Look at these guys. And then you get that sense of false hope. And then you're reading the tabloids like, wait a minute, you all y'all married to,
But the
Yeah.
day and age, we're in 2014. Is it really a big deal if you're dating outside the race? Like,
I think it all depends if you're in love with the person.
my fault. You said no,
I
but
said
last
no.
night you just
Last-
said you
yes.
felt some type of way.
Yes.
That's
I felt-
isn't that a
no,
contradiction?
No, this is not a contradiction.
Is it not?
It's just what I saw. But if I had the right guy and he could have been Asian and he treated me well, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that. So, I mean, it's what you're looking for. And I think when you get older, you look at what you want in a relationship more than just the looks of, oh, a black chick with a black guy or something like that. If that person loves you and treats you and loves you unconditionally, then what's the problem?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want like Molotov cocktails thrown at my house from the but I mean, how I look at it, of course, you know, you can't help who you fall in love with. But sometimes you just have to ask yourself, why? Like, is there a deeper agenda as to why, or it's just true love? Because again,
social acceptance type of thing.
Right, because there's a plethora of black men out there who are celebrities and athletes that date white women. Even, I think we discussed earlier, Robert Griffin III, his fiance's white, and Rob Parker from ESPN talked about it. And I think he went a little far to say he was a sellout.
Yeah, he did.
But he said, oh, he's a sellout, and got fired. But at the same time, it's like if Rob Parker's expressing his opinion about, you know, a black man dating a white woman, I don't know. Like, don't you think that was a little bit harsh, though? For
it is harsh. Like I said, we're in 2014. I think we contradict each other a lot. If we're always fighting for social acceptance for our colors, but yet we don't accept other colors dating our race, I just think that's almost a contradiction per se. You know, certain people feeling some type of way when you see black guys and white girls at a restaurant. You know,
So would you date a white woman?
would I? Yeah, she's right. I have dated outside of my race. I don't have a problem against it.
what if her parents didn't accept you, though?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how she would react to that. So I was in a situation where I was talking to someone outside of, you know, I'm Haitian, so outside they were white, and their family or culture per se didn't accept me. I didn't really feel any type of way. I don't really care too much, but she felt some type of way. It was good. It happens a lot because a lot of people, like you said, you fit into stereotypes. I got the dreads and earrings, or I used to have braids before this and afros and all that. So I fell into every stereotype you could think of, from me just being a rapper to a ganja seller. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I dealt with them all in house and out of house. You could say.
Yeah, so when you deal with that, doesn't that make you say, all right, I just want to stick with my own so I don't have to deal with being stereotyped?
Nah, that's limiting myself. If I right now find a very a perfect mate that's outside of my race, I'm not going to worry about all that hoopla.
No, really?
No, I'm not.
So you just carry on with your relationship and, you know,
Well, they'll
move
be.
on.
Well, that's the mentality, you know.
I highly doubt you'd sit back with other people running their mouth about you and you being black and ganja with your friends or the white place.
Yes.
You said you're Haitian, correct?
Yes.
Is your family of the old-fashioned Haitian, or they're more modernized,
Oh,
Americanized?
my parents don't care.
They're modernized and
Yeah, they're
Americanized?
modernized.
They're modernized.
Yeah.
With my whole family, they wouldn't care if I came home with a girl looking purple. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
As long as she looks good.
As long as she doesn't look like a purple one.
My pops would call it out. She's ugly. That's what.
They're like, oh, shit, see?
How about your family? Is everyone's family here acceptance to other cultures?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Everyone's saying yeah on camera. Then wait till the camera turns off.
you
We'll
gotta
find
look
out
at
the
it like
truth.
this though. If you're a parent and your son or daughter is dating outside the race, I would hope that as the parent you would at least, you know, get them prepared for stuff like that. You know, for people to give them that look, or for their parents, if they're white, to not accept you, and vice versa. You know, you have to at least say, which my pops did with me. You know, when he found out I was dating a white girl, he was like, you know, I didn't raise you to see colors, but at the same time, this is what you have to be prepared for, because there are still parents out there who don't want their daughter or son associating with black people.
Right.
So you have to, you know, at least be like, look, this is what you could deal with. You know, be ready for it. But at the same time, you know, like they said, love is blind. It doesn't matter. But just be prepared for people to say that.
So is that conversations? I know you're a father right now. Is that conversations you're going to have with your son, and is that conversations everyone on the set will have with the kids?
I mean, I would
Dating us?
hope so. Yeah, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, if he wants to date a white girl,
Oh.
I'm gonna let him know, and then
Well, he said no.
I
Go
pull my
ahead.
son aside and I say, listen, if she's white, she's all right. If she's black, she's black. Don't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. No, I'm totally kidding.
Now you said that phrase too good. I don't know about that.
No, trust me, I would never do that. But I think we touched on this earlier. What do you guys think about that editorial that the young white lady wrote about you better take better care of your black men or else we'll take them.
What was the
crazy.
post? Hold on, what was the post? You have to.
All
I
right,
don't know
no,
about-
and this was probably a year or two ago, and I don't remember if it was on what website or Facebook, but it was a letter, and she was a voluptuous,
It's
beautiful
like
looking
one of
white
those
woman.
deep Dear Jamie letters. Or something
Right.
like that.
Okay.
And she wrote, it was a letter to all black women saying, don't get mad at us because we take your men, and you should do a better job of taking care of your men. And if you don't, then that's just the way it is. Don't get mad at us if your men are attracted to us more than.
That's real interesting. How do women feel about that?
I find
Well-
that kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And what?
I mean, like, why would you say something like that? Like, what do you bring to the table that we don't have? Basically, if you're gonna try to take our men, would be my question to her.
Well, for the guys that dated outside the race, right? I dated black women, white women, Spanish, whatever the case is. Do black women treat you differently compared to the other races?
You know what? I think it all depends on how she was raised, because you have some black women that weren't raised in that wholesome, functional home where there's a mother and there's a father and they understand that it goes both ways and how to take care of their man. Like they don't understand the give and take.
Okay.
You have black women, and I can't speak for all, and if you guys are raised in single homes, please, I'm sitting all the way over here. But I think there are black women who are raised in single parent homes where there was no man. So they hear the mother bashing, oh, your father, your father, your father. So then when they grow up, it internalizes in them, and then they start looking at black men a certain way, which may drive them to date outside their race or
Be bitter towards men.
better towards
Better
men,
towards
or
men.
jump
That's a very
outside
good
of a
point. That's
fence
a very
or
good
whatever
point.
the case
Yeah.
may be.
You don't have that example of how a man should treat a lady, especially a black lady. You know, so that's definitely a good point.
Okay. That's it.
Definitely.
Okay. So with that being said, then, so is that probably the reason why some of these athletes and lots of these black males are dating outside the race? Because maybe
It
a lot
could
of
be
these black
part of
women
the.
don't know how to quote unquote treat them per
Could be a
se.
factor.
I mean,
Due
like,
to examples.
I mean, it could be me. I'm a kind of conspiracy theorist to an extent. So I think there could be maybe an agenda behind that to water down the black race. But that's just me talking crazy right now. But because it's one thing if it's not so prevalent. But when you take a look, you see, whether you look in magazines or the red carpet, you see these brothers with white women under their arms. And again, you can't help who you fall in love with. But why is it so prevalent? Why is it everywhere I turn? This is what you see. But then if you look at someone like Jennifer Aniston or Jessica Biel, they're not dating guys like you and I, guys who get up and do a 9 to 5 every day. They're not. They're not dating our type of black men. They won't. But you see someone like Tiger Woods. Wasn't Elin his nanny? Like, wasn't she his nanny?
I'm not too sure.
Or
But
something.
he even said he wasn't black anyway, so I don't even look
That's
at,
true. He did. That's
I
true.
don't even look at
Yeah,
Tiger Woods as a black guy. He
No,
already said he wasn't
doesn't.
black.
But you know what the sad thing is? If he robbed and raped somebody and they identified him, they're not going to say this half Chinese, half
Nah,
black guy.
they gonna
Right.
say he's a black
This
man.
black man, raping, you know what I mean? So it's
Right.
just sad, man. The way things are perpetuated is sad.
And I also think it's probably like where you're raised too, because I have like cousins, they're black, but where they go to school is all white.
Okay.
So mostly all their friends is white.
So they go with the white.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
yeah.
that's what they know, if that's what they grew up with. I honestly feel.
Okay. How about you?
So I have a question. So is it like, you know, they said the way black women treat their men, but how are men treating their black women? Just because in a relationship they talk about women being submissive to their man or whatever,
Okay.
is he taking that power and running with it? Like, you can't just expect your woman just to bow down to you. There has to be some equal level of power
course.
or something. You know, so you can't just say that, oh, black women just treat their men any type of way. It's how the man is the man trying to run over her? Is he trying to just be in control of everything? Like, where's the
point.
balance at?
Oh yeah, obviously, because I mean, in this day and age, I mean, although some women are somewhat submissive to their man, they'll still cook, they'll still clean, they'll do the domesticated duties, but domesticated
I like
duties. But when you look at, you know, relationships now, like I feel a black man shouldn't look at his woman as a maid, you know, his launderer, you know what I mean, his babysitter, his this, is that. If that's what she wants to do and he doesn't take liberties with it, but to say he's just not the type of guy to cook and clean and she can help him out with those things, but he's more the breadwinner, I think that's where the balance comes in. But if you sit there and treat her like, you know, what's the color purple with Celie and
Yes,
yeah. You know what I mean? You know, have her shave his head and clean up and all that stuff, and then, you know, nah.
That's real good. That's real good. I mean, I think we do have the truth be told for the interracial relationships. I think we all agree it's okay, but it's just a lot of different standards. And we don't know why there's standards, but there's a lot of different standards within our society. So I think that's a wrap for today. We have the truth be told in interracial relationships.